Alright, so in this video I'm going to be talking about a guitar that I've literally been obsessed with since I saw it at the NAMM show this year. And as you can guess from the guitar that I'm holding in my hands, that guitar is this Chapman ML3 Pro X. So this guitar is the ML3 Pro X from Chapman Guitars. Now I first saw this at NAMM this year. I went over to the Chapman stall just to catch up with my friends at the brand because I've known them for a while now. And this was one of the things that they showed me as being a new model, and I instantly fell in love with it. There was something about the gold T-style body with the HSS combination and the vintage style trem that just kind of really caught my attention. I think that's just a really cool combination of things I love about different guitars all in one package. Now this guitar is from the Chapman Pro line. So in the UK you can expect to pay, £1,200 to £1,300 for one of these. So it's not a crazy expensive guitar. It's still an expensive guitar because we're still talking about full figures here. But if you're someone who is getting serious about playing and you're looking to buy your first kind of real high-grade guitar, you're probably going to be looking in that kind of price point anyway. So this is something that will definitely be a contender if you're looking to spend that kind of money. So Chapman have really kind of gone all out with the specs on this thing. They've crammed quite a lot into this, considering they've managed to keep it, under £1,500. There's a lot of guitar on offer here for the money. I first gravitated towards this purely aesthetically because I just loved the way it looked. This is available in a couple of other colours, but really the gold is the one that really caught my eye. I think it looks absolutely great in gold. But then when I played it, that's when I knew I was in trouble, because that's when I really started to like it way more than I probably should. Because I started then thinking about it more and more, and then I thought, well, I need to own one at some point. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you all about this thing. So before we look at the specs of this, I just want to let you guys know this is not a sponsored video today. Chapman Guitars are not paying me to make this video, and as much as it pains me to say it, I'm not keeping this guitar. This is just here on loan. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you've probably seen this in a bunch of other videos already. But as always, all the thoughts and opinions in the video are my own. So spec-wise, we have a mahogany body, which I'm sure you'll agree is quite an unusual choice for a T-style guitar. We often associate mahogany body guitars with things like Les Pauls. This is quite heavy because of that. It's a good weight, there's no chambering, but it has a real nice rich sound to it. I think it was a really good choice to go with mahogany because even though it looks like a classic T-style shape, by choosing a different bodywood, you kind of get away from some of those connotations around it being just another Telecaster. So it definitely has a different vibe, purely just because of the bodywood alone. It weighs a lot more, and that obviously will affect the tone in some way, depending on how far down that rabbit hole you go. We often associate those kind of tones with things like Les Pauls, much more kind of rich and mid-rangey rather than the typical twangy Tele sound. So the colour was obviously the first thing that I mentioned caught my attention, and it's a gold. There is a glittery finish to it, so it's a gold glittery finish, but there's actually, at some angle, there's a slight green hue to it as well, which is actually pretty nice. It kind of gives the guitar two different colour variations, which is really nice depending on which angle you look at it from. Chapman are calling this finish gold metallic gloss, and I mean, it's pretty easy to see why, because it's gold, it's metallic, and it's a high gloss finish. So on top of that body, we have a Wilkinson 2-point tremolo. This is a non-locking tremolo. It's set up to float just slightly, so you can get a little bit of up motion, but it's mostly a down motion tremolo. Master volume, master tone, and a 5-way switch. Then we've got a humbucker in the bridge, which is the Seymour Duncan 59 trembucker, and in the middle and neck positions we have the Seymour Duncan Classic Stack single coils. This guitar also has a roasted maple neck, which is really nice. I'm a big fan of roasted maple necks. I just think there's something about the feel of them that I just really like, and I also like the visual element of it too. It's a bolt-on neck, as you can see, but there is some neck heel carving there, so we can really get to the upper frets where we need to. We have a Mikasa ebony fretboard on this guitar with 22 stainless steel jumbo frets on there, and the donut style inlays, even on the 12th fret, as opposed to the usual infinity logo that Chapmans often have. The Mikasa ebony fretboard is a 13.5-inch radius. Then up at the headstock end, we have the Chapman reverse headstock, a Graphtec Tusk nut, and some Hipshot locking tuners to keep everything nice and secure. These are really nice tuners. They've got a real good feel about them, and they look great as well. They feel like very high quality tuners. This guitar is also a 25.5-inch scale, so if you're used to playing T-style guitars, this will instantly feel familiar because it's got that vibe. What I really like about this is that you kind of have that blend between classic T-style looks with the functionality of something like a Superstrat, because you've got the HSS configuration and the tremolo. So yeah, it kind of crosses two different paths there, which I think is really interesting. And then with the 5-way switch, we've got the typical 5-way switch layout. So in the first position, it is the bridge humbucker. In the second position, it's a split bridge humbucker with the middle pickup. The third position is just the middle pickup. Fourth position is middle and neck. And fifth position is just the neck pickup. One other thing I should mention is that Chapman guitars, on this guitar and on all their other guitars, always have great rolled fretboard edges. Now, the rolled fretboard edge is something that is usually reserved for a higher priced guitar, but Chapman have always done it even on their more budget-friendly models. And the great thing about a rolled fretboard edge is that it feels a little more played in. You don't have that hard corner where the edge of the fretboard is. So when you're playing, it almost feels like a guitar that you've played 1,000 times before, because it has that kind of familiar feel. I think that's a great selling point for Chapman guitars. And also, this thing has glow-in-the-dark side dots as well. So from a gigging perspective, that is an incredible spec. It's a small thing, but when you're gigging, that really, really helps. So spec-wise, that's about it. I'm going to plug this thing in now and I'm going to hear some sounds. Alright, so gear-wise, I've got the Chapman ML3 Pro X plugged into the Blackstar Studio 10 6L6, which is running completely clean. That is going via the 2-Notes Torpedo Captor X. Later on in the video, there's going to be some overdrive from the Wampler Germanium Tumnus as well. So I'm going to start playing clean. I'm going to play a bit and move through all 5 of the pickup positions so you can hear the range of tones. So this has some pretty great solid clean tones. I mean, it gives you everything you expect from the HSS configuration. The bridge pickup's quite hot, so even when you're playing clean, it kind of just gets you over that edge. But then when you go to the single coil positions, it's much, much cleaner. The split coil position in position 2 takes, I believe, the side of the pickup closest to the bridge and the middle pickup together. Get that nice, real quacky kind of position 2 Strat thing. Great for really nice kind of clean chords. And then position 4 gives you that real nice kind of John Mayer-y clean. Pretty great all round. I mean, you can get so many different tones out of this, just clean. Now I'm going to switch on the Wampler Germanium Tumnus. I'm going to hear the same 5 pickup positions with some overdrive. So even in this kind of medium gain state, these pickups can do a lot. That bridge pickup has got enough grunt in there to play some hard rock stuff. If you put some high gain through that as well, you could obviously play some metal there. The neck pickup's got enough snap to kind of give you that stratty thing. And then those in-between positions are great for bluesy stuff. I love position 4. You still get that slightly kind of stratty, phasey thing, but there's so much articulation in that sound as well. So yeah, that is the Chapman Guitars ML3 Pro X. Now, I'm going to have to go on record and say I'm going to miss this thing when I send it back. This is a great guitar. Now, for the money, it's so hard these days to choose because there's so many brands that just absolutely excel in this price range. And Chapman are one of them. I do think these guys are one of the reasons the market kind of shifted a little bit, because when Chapman first came around, they really showed a lot of bigger brands what you can do for a lower budget. So, you know, you can buy a guitar like this for £1,200-1,300, and this can easily rival something twice its price. It doesn't need to cost £3,000 to be a great guitar. You could and I would very easily take this out on the road with me, and I would trust it every single night to play on stage with. I would never have any concern about this kind of, you know, falling apart or failing on me after a couple of shows. This is a very high quality guitar, and it's honestly quite amazing that they are still at that price point, because if you told me this was £2,000, I would easily believe that. So yeah, what a cool guitar. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. If you've tried anything from the Chapman Guitars Pro range, I'd love to hear your feedback on that as well. There's some links where you can check this thing out down below too. And while you're down there letting me know what you think about this thing, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here as well. I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching as always.